Hello. In this tutorial, I will walk you all through how to create a TX Visu project to use MQTT, and we'll be testing it with a simple MQTT broker provided by Mosquitto. Okay. So firstly, we'll start with the TX Visu, cause TX Visu for me is quite tricky. I'm more experienced in codices, but TX Visu has its good parts, okay, like such as the free MQTT. So we're gonna start with a new project. Okay, gonna call it MQTT for video. Okay, next, choose your hardware. I'm using for where is my I'm using TX400D. Okay, there is no HMI for this, no actual HMI for this, so if I screw up anything, gone. Okay, that was unnecessary detail, but okay. So you get a blank page, right? So we can start by creating our some variables to show on the HMI. So go to protocol plus add some variables. Okay, variables, not system variables, variables. Okay, so follow on, go to tag. Okay, we're gonna add a tag. We are going to add a tag called to broker. Okay, so this tag. Okay, I think it's not created like this. Let me reduce it. I think I changed something. Okay, let's try again. Key in the wrong segment. Create an integer tag. Okay, and we're gonna call it to broker. So this variable we'll be using it later to send data to the broker. And next we'll be collect this second tag will be collecting data from the broker itself. Okay, so now we created the two variables. We will go to the page. Okay, and then we will create a label. Okay, we'll drag in a label and to display our value. Okay, and for this and for this example, right, we'll be using this format. Okay, to broker. Okay, so this part will be shown as the normal value, and now if I want to show the actual value, right, you need to enclose it in square brackets. Okay, and format 0 dot. Okay, no. Okay, hex is means you want decimal notation, and then if you dot 0 means you want one decimal place. Okay, so now, okay, and this will be our to broker, and similarly this format we will send from broker. Okay, okay, and then okay, wait, let me enter them so they're further apart. Okay, from broker, and you have your HMI values. Okay, wait, this is a bad practice. I need to separate them. Okay, yeah, okay, and then yeah, cause sometimes you might be linking it to other different things, so it's best not to put them together. Yeah, okay, so now I have my two tags. If I run my simulation, it should come out like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna stop. Okay, so we're gonna do first start out with a sample project with some changing value, because in the MQTT, how often your data will usually be sent whenever there's a change in value, or if you define a minimum regular sampling interval. Yeah. Okay, but later we'll be using changing values. Okay, so for test value, our value must be able to change. So in order to code some basic changing values in TX Visu, we can use JavaScript. So how do we so to create a JavaScript for this, first go to the scheduler. Okay, create a high resolution schedule. Okay, this would okay, so and then create a JavaScript action. Okay, so why high resolution? If you notice, right, between recurring values will recur like daily, monthly, or certain intervals that are quite large. Okay, for high resolution, you will be able it will be running that JavaScript code every 100 millisecond. Okay, so now okay, sorry. So you created a JavaScript action, right? That runs every 100 millisecond. If you go to project property, go to the variable widget, right? Okay, so your script would be created over here. Okay, so now I'm gonna copy and paste JavaScript code that I will be using. Okay, later you can just copy from the video itself. Okay, so the first tag would contain variables. This would be the actual variable, that changing variable. Okay, the actual value that is changing a lot. And then for this one, we can actually this value would affect the speed of how fast the value will change. Okay, the later I run the code, you will see what's you will see what happens, and you'll slowly get it. Okay, so now once your JavaScript is in place, I think we can try to run the simulation. Okay, not running. Okay, so what is missing? Oh, okay, I think I know so for this page, right, because the starting value is 0, there won't be any change in the value, so we need to initialize it with some initial value. So go to odd. So we must code it such that when the page is activated, you will change the tag value. Okay, so go to tag. Okay, and then we write the tag. Which tag to write? I'm gonna write from broker. Okay, so this actually adjusts the actual speed, the speed of change of the value. Okay, what does it mean to be speed of change? You'll see how. Okay, so let me run this code. You'll see. Not working. Okay, so yeah, just now you saw that it failed. It's because you have to go to advanced property, live text, turn it true. Okay, enable it to have live changes. Okay, similarly for this one. Okay, let me add. Okay, I don't know. Wait. This one, let's go for true. Okay, so save, run the code. Haha. Okay, so so this value over here is able controls the running of the tag. So every 100 millisecond, the value TOBroker will be incremented by 1, and if it reaches 360, it will drop back to 0. Okay, Yeah, I think there are ways to change the value, but it's not too much of a problem. So you can see if it hits 360, it goes back to 0. Okay, so now we have a basic code with some changing values that which then we can then add to our MQTT broker. Okay, so the hard part is done. Now it's time to download your MQTT broker. So yeah, so the one of the most common and free MQTT broker is Mosquitto. Go to downloads, okay, and then can download and install this, okay, if depending on your system, okay, and once you have it, you should be able to find it in your program files, okay. So let me go through this again. My PC, you see program files, and you can see Mosquitto, okay. So you'll be here, all your files will be here. Okay, so now you need to go, and this will be our broker. So we have one broker and we have one client, which is our TX Visu. So in order for another person to be listening in the different data, right, we will use a free client called MQTT FX. Okay, and then you can go to the website. They have a much better version, a newer version, but you need to pay money for it. So go to downloads. Okay, MQTT 7, we're gonna get the free 1.7.1. okay, and just click and it'll be here. Download the one suitable for your computer and install it, and you should get something like this. Okay, yeah, okay. So now we'll go back to our directory, okay, with your MQTT files. Okay, to run it, you must click on the directory bar, type cmd. You launch a command prompt that's at the right directory, okay, straight away at the directory, so you don't need to cd here and there. And then you can just run mosquitto -v, and you'll get, and if everything is proper, you will get something like this. Mosquitto is running, okay. You can see that it's listening on port 1883, which is the default port for MQTT for Mosquitto. So now we'll go back to MQTT FX. Make sure your setting is to the same port, okay, very important. And for the broker address, yeah, will be the messages will be sent from your loopback address. So all messages sent here is actually essentially you're sending to yourself. 127.0.0, okay, 0.1. So cancel, and if you connect, see, if it's successfully connected, you can see on your broker, it will tell there's a connection from your loopback address, okay. So now, okay, so now that is done, right, you have two clients and a broker. You're ready to start configuring for the MQTT and start your experiment, okay. So now we'll go to our TX Visu. Back to TX Visu. So you see your two tags, right? Okay, we need to configure them to their respective groups, okay. So okay, you need to split them into different groups. Okay, group to broker. Okay, why do you need to group it? Later you will know when we start Okay, I'll get into that later, but group from broker. Okay, it's good to give some prefix to your variables so that you don't lose track of you don't get confusing naming. Okay, so once if you call it group, then you know it's actually a group. So now once you name it into its own group, we can go to the interfaces, MQTT, double click, and you come to this page. So okay, enable your MQTT interfaces. You see, remember the group that you created. Now, yeah, all of it appears here. So the different tags that you create can be grouped together, and you can apply different update policies onto the different group. So what is these update policies? Okay, so update policies is actually allows you to change to define, right, when do you send all these MQTT messages to the broker depending on what condition. So you can create your own policies over here. Can create your own policy with like different condition, such as the value becoming between certain value, or if there is some certain change in quality. Okay, certain quality differences. Okay, but we don't need a condition right now. Yeah, and if you think you want to limit the number of messages you want to send out into, especially if you're sending to the cloud, which is chargeable, you can actually change the frequency over here, so that even if there are changes, you'll wait for a certain interval before it send the next new available data. Okay, so you don't get a flood of data coming in all the time. Or you can change it to be something smaller if you need it more frequently. Okay, so now I don't need this, so I'll just remove. Okay, so for the to group, right, we can define the policy to be change on change and only on change. Okay, to make it very explicit even though it's default. Okay, so now we can go down broker. We are using Mosquitto, which is a generic MQTT broker. Next, the broker address. So where is our broker located? Your broker is your own computer that you're running this on. So my computer is connected to my TX700 through this Ethernet cable with this IP address. Okay, so you key in the IP address of your computer. Make sure the port is the same, 1883, and you can give it a client ID to tell the broker who is the one publishing this message. Okay, so when you track back on the message, you know the source. Okay, and our server, right, broker doesn't have any user and password, so don't need to fill up this. Okay, and personally I like to use a clean session every time you launch a new code, okay, to make things simple. So now at this part, right, you can change the topic to the topic that you want to publish to. So in MQTT, all of the you're continuously publishing your data, right, into the broker and as a topic, and so that anyone who are interested in certain data will only need to subscribe to that topic, and the broker will transmit their desired topics to the other clients. Okay, but never mind, you can go Google and read out on this. Okay, so over here you can set the name for your topics. So for my published topic, I'll call it published topic. Yeah, and the payload you don't need to change usually. If you want, you can add more. You can add more categories. If you, for example, you like client ID, you can, yeah, there's a simple interface for you to add the correct syntax. Okay, so subscribe topic, similarly, subscribe topic. Okay, so now that it's done, and you can just run the code. Okay, not the simulation. Download straight to the target. Okay. Okay, finish download. So now I can go to the internet and yeah, okay, can just key in the IP address for your device. Okay, and you reach this page. You can just go username admin, password admin, sign in, and you can see your code is running. Okay, so at least you know your TX Visu has your TX Visu code has no problem. It's running. So now the question is it publishing? Okay, so we're gonna run the code, right? We're gonna run mosquitto -v. Okay, and you can see that nothing is happening. Okay, the client did not join. My HMI did not join. My TX400 did not join the broker in any way. So there must be some problems, right? Okay, so at this point, so if I connect my MQTT FX, you'll see some kind of feedback, but no, my TX700 is not doing anything. Okay, so at this point you probably reach the same point as the handout you probably reading from. So now we need to debug the error. Yeah, this part is not written down in the handout. So firstly, yeah, go to the Windows firewall, run it as administrator. Okay, go to the firewall, check your inbound rules, make sure that your mosquitto, right, your mosquitto software is allowed. Okay, so if you double click, okay, okay, make sure that your connection is allowed through the whole thing. Okay, you have one for TCP. My mosquitto for UDP is missing. Oh well. Okay, so if in any case this thing is not there, right, your mosquitto, you can actually create your own rule. Like right now, you can put it for all port, or you can put it for certain programs. Okay, so because we know we are running it on port 1883, we will just specify the exact port. Okay, we have TCP. Let's create one for UDP lah, since I don't have one for UDP. Normally you don't need this, but sometime this is just for example. Okay, yeah, by right I'm supposed to have one for UDP here also, but I'm not sure why it's missing. Okay, then I can have mosquitto UDP. Okay, finish. Yeah, that's how easy it is to add your own rules. Okay, it's here. And outbound, if you want, you can also add the rule for outbound for the specific port also, but I think it's not necessary. Okay, so make sure your Fireport allows your data from your TX Visu in, or data from your mosquitto in or out. Okay, and second thing you need to check, okay, not written in the instructions, is go to your mosquitto. You will see you have a all mosquitto comes with a config file over here. Okay, so you need to open your notepad as an administrator. Okay, open your notepad as an administrator, and then add in these two lines. Okay, in the older version, you don't need to do this if you're using older version, but if you just download and install it, you'll be in the newest version where you need to specify exactly the port that your listener is listening to, cause this is for security purposes that you don't buy. In the newer version, it's a security to consideration where they actually block all listening ports, yeah, except your own loopback ports. Yeah. So to enable communication with outside external device, you need to explicitly state this. And also, if you don't know the IP address of who you're listening to, you can also add this one in. But in the for future and more advanced application, it's advised to add in the exact IP address or host name for wherever you know you are connecting to. Okay, so now both of it is ready, and then the third thing you can do, okay, it's actually to stop this code. Okay, because previously I'm just running it like this, but you actually, in order to run the new config file, right? Okay, to the config file that you just edited, you actually need to run it with -c to specify that I am using this config file. Okay, and when you run it, you should probably see yourself connecting there. So the length of the connection, sometimes it takes a while because, yeah, sometimes you need to press enter for this to run. And also it also takes a while because you have because of this setting over here, the keep alive time, which is actually which is kind of a timeout function to check the connection of the of your MQTT connection from your device to the broker. Okay, so usually it just takes a while, but when you see you're actually publishing, your TX700D is publishing to the broker, it means your data, you did everything correctly and your MQTT is running. So now if you use your MQTT FX, your second client, right? Connect. Okay, so you can see that I have connect. Wait, did I manage to connect? Oh yeah, I managed to connect over here. 100 172 127. Okay, I'll just run lah. Let's not pick it for now. Okay, so if you go to subscribe, you can subscribe to publish the topic that your TX700 is publishing to. Subscribe, and you can see the messages over here. Okay, you can see this is, you can see the value is increasing by 10. Okay, for every message, which is correct. Okay, so now this is, yeah, you're receiving the publish message. So now what if you want to send data to the to your device itself? Okay, so you can actually go to the publish and then use this syntax. Okay, use the same exact syntax. I want to change the tag from broker. Okay, and I want to change the value to 100, and the rest is doesn't really matter. Okay, and you can just publish. Oh no, not working. Oh, that's because my topic name is wrong. Okay, so if you have the right topic name, right? Oh, subscribe topic. Okay, if you have right topic name, this value should be changing this value. Okay, so publish thing. So I managed to send the data to the broker, and the broker send it to my device. In the end, it changed this value, and now my change is very fast. It's increasing by 100 all the time. Okay, so that's about all. Have a good day, yeah, and enjoy using your MQTT client.